Athletics 95. We would have had 100% if we'd given Abelard that boost.
Victory awaits.
Right there.
No, can you... Nope, you're not gonna click on that? That's fine. Oh, she can't. She's got to... Ooh. Hello, you guys. So we can see them, but we can't get to them. Oh, no, come on. Abelard. Why are the shadows moving? It's like they're alive. Is it because I hit my head? Well, I was hoping that Abelard...
Your seneschal is always there.
We need to give you a medikit. Are you out of medikits? That's awkward. Yeah, we took damage from the trap. I was hoping that he would not walk directly through it. He was just like skirting the corner. I guess I should have been more careful to move him around to try and get to that door. Because obviously the trap... way to undo the trap was... in this room. Anyway, Argenta...
The Emperor sets my path.
Use a medikit on him.
Greater trials lie ahead.
The healing is much appreciated.
Tech use, or demolition. So this is just a tech, or this is just to check this. These two use resources. Not that we need to open this door because we were just over there.
Excellence matters.
Interesting. So we can go this way and interact with all of this, whatever it is. Which does currently look like a dead end. That we don't know for certain. Collect the loot, kill the people. Or we can jump this debris, or clear the debris, to go that way. Let's try this way first. We're probably going to get into a fight. Did you hear the screams? Move! Sir, are you alright? We can't hear anything. Now I see. You are in league with them. Is this an insurrection? Yes, indeed. Death to the traitors! I mean, if they're all turning on each other, then maybe we don't know who was the guilty party. I know, you are all traitors. Traitors, all of you. They told me. They whispered. Hey, who are you? I assume you think we're traitors? Yeah. So we don't care about those. Scrappy auto pistols we don't care about anymore. Another data crypt thing. I'm assuming all these random items and knickknacks we're finding, oh, this does continue on, are part of the building the key. That's true. The lore that said everyone went crazy. Yeah. I'm just wondering if maybe the main guy who's clearly leading a rebellion, if he's leading the rebellion because he wanted to lead the rebellion, like, was it a planned event? Or are the warp storms that are causing everyone to go crazy caused him to misjudge and start this rebellion? Or possibly he's guilty and he's causing the warp storms that are causing everyone to go crazy. Who knows? Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growth so that we could study the influence of the rebellious Imperium on the flesh of the Navis Nobilite Just as we thought, navigators are positively resistant to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery, but let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly. I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Adamantine dust and black water. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised. I'm lucky to still have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Nevertheless, we did make an important discovery. The adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All of the data related to the experiment were recorded on datacrypt K04OH. I will get back to them later once I'm done with experiment KH41OK. Have I mentioned that this chunk of meteorite found by Keeper Felix subject is completely useless? Although its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child. Yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that. So he's claiming the meteorite chunk is not part of the puzzle we're going to need. Because we have mutated flesh sample and navigator flesh sample. I'm guessing there is a right collection of items, like 4 correct items we need, and 4 very wrong items that we could choose when we put together this puzzle. This keeps branching. Maybe this is a dead end? Usually there's a path that goes forward and a dead end.
Done.
Okay, this is all goods. Keep quick saving before each attempt. Grab all the loot. It does amuse me that we've shown up here in the middle of their civil war. Ooh, long las. That's a sniper rifle. $14 to 20 damage, 15% armor pen. Has the same dodge reduction of 30. Additional hit chance, 25%. Does that mean that... Because it has a rate of fire of 1, which means we can only shoot 1 shot. Is it saying there's a 25% chance that we will hit a second time with our single bullet? I don't know. Range is super far, 18. Max ammo 10. Single shot and deadeye shot. I think I would want to replace my las gun, because if I'm within that kind of range of an enemy, what is the range there? 10 squares, I'm probably within range to use my psyker abilities. But this would give me a long range shot. And then Carapace chestplate. Let's collect both of those. Oh, you have a 25% additional chance of hitting, meaning snipers are more accurate. Got it. Additional hit chance, so my accuracy gets a plus 25 to our weapon or ballistic skill check, effectively. Okay, so this gives me the same 20% armor, but without a dodge penalty. I assume this is still worse than his, correct? We could give this to Adira, because she doesn't have... It's better armor without giving her a penalty. And then we send the body glove to cargo. And then for ourselves, we replace our long las with the sniper. Well-maintained long las. Does anyone... It's probably good for most people to have a pistol, just in case they get cornered. Although, I suppose for Abelard... Yeah, for Abelard, we won't give him a pistol. We'll give him the las gun. Because if he is in melee, he'll just use his sword. So he doesn't need a pistol. But if he can't get up to an enemy with his movement, then having a ranged option is good. Yeah, his chainsaw... Again, that brings up the question of what happens if I have a pistol equipped as well, which I didn't bother checking. Can we see our cargo from here, or is it already gone? Journal, character, inventory. Void ship management? No. I mean, if we can manage our void ship, we should be able to... There we go. It's like, we should be able to see our cargo. Cargo. We go to ranged weaponry. Where would our pistols be? Ranged weaponry. There we go. Long las... Oh, no. Here we go. Auto pistol. Scrappy auto pistol, which is better than a normal auto pistol. So let's specifically grab one of these. Send those back to cargo. And yes, we go to inventory for Abelard. Let's give him a pistol in his second hand and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't give penalties even on his melee attack to have a second weapon, because that's how a lot of games work.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Hello, servants. I can talk to them. And Uv, you have a name. Even better. Yes, I've shot up all of your people. I am sorry. Please talk to him. Uv has had his tongue cut off, just like the rest of the lesser servants of House Orsilio. Dude. For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way into the station. The fact that the person is still alive is evidenced only by the barely audible groans. We are done for. They'll kill us all. I can't take this anymore.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Well, I'm sorry, Uv. I was hopeful that we could finally discuss this, whatever's going on, and resolve it. Okay. What is this? Awaken the Cogitator spirit. The Cogitator's vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The button switches and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Huh. Awaken the Cogitator. You turn a few of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers. The Cogitator's insides emit creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the Cogitator systems. Like, part of me... Again, computer engineer by trade. Like, it's my degree. So I think of Cogitators and I try and understand from a modern computer standpoint what it's talking about. But I also understand that not everything has a one-to-one correlation, because the machines do in fact have spirits that have to be appeased. Because part of me wants to think that they're just doing normal computer things of, you know, typing the correct, you know, code sequences or programs. But I don't think that's true. I think there actually are spirits in the machines in Warhammer 40k that they do have to appease with incense and whatnot. You're new to 40k lore, but so far I've learned that there's almost never a good and bad side. Both sides are kind of awful in their own way. That's true. I mean, that's the Warhammer 40k Grimdark. There is no good... Like, as people who focus on humanity's position in the in space, we see the humans as the good guys, and therefore all the other xenos are evil and terrible. But it's really not true. Like, humans are also terrible. There are no species that are inherently good or wanting the good of the galaxy. We exterminate the xenos not because they've necessarily done anything wrong, but just because they're there. That sort of idea. Request data on the station's navigators. Examine the log. Call Rykad Minoris for help. So this is the communications console, and they've intentionally tried to destroy it to stop communications. Okay. Glory to the God Emperor. Yep. We wage war as the God Emperor would demand of us. Main elevator controls. Step away from the cottage. Request data on the station's navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Felix Orsilio, location main hall, status alive. Theobald Orsilio, location upper chambers, status alive. Calamoria Orsilio, location upper chambers, status deceased. Alexius Orsilio, location lower level, status deceased. Rasmus Esteban Orsilio, location unknown, status deceased. If you don't know where he is, then how do you know he's dead? The child, location, upper chambers, biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, stress levels exceeds the permissible limit, status unknown error, attention, calming procedures advised, attention, upper chambers inaccessible, error, the control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact the station keeper or the Navis Laboratorum custodian. Examine the log. The archive data stored on the Cogitator's local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you still manage to access the residual logs for examination. View Vox Report 12AH890. The Vox recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The tech priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartments. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never receive a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor. Do you hear me? Anyone. If you're in doubt, shoot to kill. The following Vox recordings are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. Examine the recent entries of the incident log. Report X880, originator, classified. Date, classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. Report X886, originator, classified. Date, classified. The negotiations with the Winterscales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainees' resistance to the child's power. They've mentioned this child a few times, and I thought child was like the... Given the reverential way that they're referring to them, I assume that's the mistress that the guards were talking about, but I don't know. But it sounds like people all over the station are going crazy because of the child's powers, which makes me think the child is not the mistress, you know, chief navigator, whatever. Because hopefully they wouldn't be driving everyone nuts. Report X891, originator classified, date classified, data expunged. Examine the station's docking log. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover the latest entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Arenato Orsilio, date of visit classified, reason for visit classified, date of departure classified. Okay. Someone came at some point and then departed. No, just departure. Yeah. Examine security and life support logs. The yellow lights above the control panel flicker to life, and a singular repeating message streams down the vid screen. Warning, damage to technical compartments A12, B3, D8, and H24 detected. Warning, living quarters L10, L16, L28 depressurized. Warning, unable to access the station's docking system. Warning, energy regulation system, unknown error. The station will transfer over to emergency power. Immediate evacuation of the facility is advised. Warning. View the encrypted data. Something buzzes in the Cogitator's metallic gut. Several red lumens light up above the vid screen. Required access level, security captain or above. Current access level, senior security officer. Okay, so this gives us a 55% bonus, which puts us at an 88% chance of success. I mean, I wish we could just step back, grab a security captain's identification card or something. Call it good. Although there's probably a password component as well. But let's attempt to break through. I want all the info. Success. You easily bypass the restrictions. Did we get over 100%? No, never mind. We can't get over 100% if the check is less. But yes, you easily bypass the restrictions imposed on the sacred machine. The Cogitator's overloaded processor whirs unhappily. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but a list of the most recent commands having been embedded into the machine spirit's consciousness now flit across the screen in a single creeping line. Child delete picked flow disable access code annual station controls delete activate shuttle self-destruct purge command log. Huh. Exploring the archives for a while longer yields a surviving excerpt from the guard captain's report mentioning that the security system had recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads, "Only the keepers of the station have access to the life support systems, but Keeper Theobald has not left the child's side, and neither had I. Could it be that... Yeah, the other keeper, the one that we met at the gate, is the villain? Return to the list of available commands. Do we call Rykad Minoris for help? We can try. The system cannot carry out your command despite the eager compliance of the machine spirits. One thing is certain, the problem does not lie in the Cogitator's mechanisms. Switch to the main chamber controls. The cogs within the sacred mechanism slowly start turning with heavy grinding and clacking. The tired machine spirits grant you access to station control, or at least its parts that still obey the Cogitator. Open all doors on the level is useful for us, but it means that the keeper, whose name I've forgotten, that was at the gates, would also have access. But currently they're in a room that didn't have any exit doors. Unless they come back here, it's not a problem. I'm gonna go for it. Open all doors. The Cogitator's vid screen goes dark as if the machine spirits had fled their mechanical casket, but your assumption is incorrect. As it fills with static, just a few moments later, you can barely make out an inscription amidst the flow of rapidly changing symbols. Warning, data corrupted, processing, error. Whole bunch of binary is required. Is it telling me to repeat that code? I think not. My guess is that that is a binary message that could be translated, if I cared. Probably translates to ASCII. I'm sure someone on the internet has already translated it, as well as all of these options. You actually did translate all of it. Fantastic. I'm not going to take the time to do so, but I'm not surprised people have done it. So, if you've actually translated it, then for my curiosity, what does it say? Yes. What does it say? Notably, this first message, and then depending on what that says, I'll ask if you have the meanings of the 7 options. Manual configuration required. Okay. The options are, yeah, let's hear the options. I mean, the fact that my character can spit out functioning ASCII means I should know what this means. Hall, library, compartments, tech room, security, lab, and back. This whole thing is madness. Can we go through all of them? Because this is, I think, opening the doors, yes? Yeah, open all doors on the level is what we're trying to do. Let's start with library. If library has doors, there's probably some cool stuff in there. Same with compartments and tech room. And maybe security. Actually, all of them. I don't know if the hall is as interesting. Depending. We'll start with the library. The Cogitator takes a few moments to gather the data from the station's drive systems. According to the report, this door has already been opened. Okay. Compartments. You push a few buttons on the control panel, but the system rebels and keeps resetting your commands. According to the data, the compartments you are trying to open is depressurized. Definitely do not open a depressurized compartment. Like to the rest of here. That'd be bad. 4 was the tech room. Cogitator takes a few moments to gather the data from the station's active systems and produces the following message. The protocol has been executed. The passage has been opened. Okay, so even if we didn't know what all of this means, by clicking these options, we're still opening the doors. Cogitator takes a few moments to gather data from the station's active systems. According to the report, this door has already been opened. That was for the security room. So then the lab apparently is where we are. Protocol's been executed, the passage has been opened. Alright, hall. According to the report, the door has already been opened. Fine. The vid screen blinks and the mechanism in the machine's core emits a quiet hum. Now, if they'd listed that rather than in binary, if they'd listed it in hex, I would have been a lot more tempted to actually try translating it, because hex is just a lot quicker to work with. Because if I just misplaced a 0 or a 1 in that long string, then it would shift everything over and it wouldn't translate. Hex would be better. Main elevator control. A few manipulations with the switches make you realize the elevator to the upper chambers is blocked. Activate the elevator. We don't really want to activate the elevator because the other keeper is over there. It was ASCII. Yeah, I assumed it would be ASCII, but ASCII is just taking 8-bit chunks, and you can easily do that with hex as well. Hex would just be, you know, each hex letter is 4 bits. A nibble, they call it. So just looking at 2 hex letters gives you the 8 bits for the byte for your ASCII translation. Activate the elevator. I don't think it'll work. I think we need the key. So I'm going to click this. If I did think it was going to work, I wouldn't do it because we don't want the elevator activating while they're the closest ones to it. Processing query confirmed. Oh, or not. Power to the elevator must be restored using the Cogitator in the guard room. Oh, maybe we needed to turn it on here and then also have the key for the elevator. I think that's probably right. Screen blinks and the mechanisms of the machine core emit a quiet hum. Alright, let's back off. You thank the machine spirits and reset the operating protocol. Well, that certainly did a lot of things. So where do we still have to explore? Out there, of course. Have we explored everything in here? I think mostly. Right, we didn't explore this room because we were planning to just sneak through. And then Abelard set off a trap. And yes, I'm blaming him for it. We open this door, which gets us to some goods. Warp Seer's Goggles grants willpower bonus to lower warp. You don't say. What do we have on our face? We have Helmet of the Devoted. Immunity to enemy critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. I would rather boost our warped lore. Puts our hood back on, for better or worse. And we can have Argenta. No, she's got a +3 logic. Was she tied with anyone on logic? Is everyone else at 30? Yeah, okay. Then we can take these off, put on that so that she's protected.
It's about time.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
A new challenge for me?
Testing. Huh. Well, hopefully it hasn't been muted for too long. My microphone wasn't muted, it was plugged in. I hadn't done anything to it, but randomly OBS stopped receiving the signal. Or my computer stopped receiving the signal. Unsure. How long was the microphone muted, out of curiosity? I assume I'm back. Looks like it. Since I picked up the sword. Okay, that wasn't terribly far back. Wish little glitches like that didn't happen. I certainly didn't mute my microphone. But, yeah, so we picked up the sword. It was here, yes? Got a little bit more loot. Then the warp ice. Or some sort of warp effect. Yeah, didn't miss much. But I was already planning that this would be, I think, where I end the episode, because I don't know how much longer this will go. I don't think there's going to be too much more. The lab, I'm assuming, is where we build the key, and then we immediately take it to the elevator and head up. But we've reached the end of my normal streaming time. So, yeah. We'll stop here. Next time we'll build the key and head upstairs and see if we can help resolve this in the best way, where the gooder people are okay and the more villainous people are the ones who are punished. But yes, as you've stated, not everyone is clearly good or bad. Wow, that statue. Did someone twist the head of that statue, or did the warp... Like, I can't imagine someone building a statue intentionally that looks that tortured. So I'm gonna assume the warp has tweaked it. Anyway, yeah, see you guys next time. Thanks for being here.